Hello. It has been a long time. I know. I apologize for that. I've been getting acquainted with my life and the patterns of existing here in Japan so far, and that has been probably one of the most interesting things I've undertaken in my life. Um, so what I have done so far, I got here on December 30th, 2022. I After a 16 and a half hour plane ride, in total, over two flights, came into Haneda International Airport and had then an hour and a half ride on the subway system up to Saitama. So from Tokyo Prefecture to Saitama Prefecture, which was, I mean, to be fair, the I was very tired, but it went pretty smooth. Getting luggage onto the train is probably not the greatest thing in the world, but I came carry on only, so that is that. Um, yeah, so that became a thing. I got to my hotel. I basically did nothing that first night at all. Went into my hotel, slept, done. Um, in the days after, I was in my hotel for about 5 days until January 4th. Um, I went out, explored the town that I was in at the time, and just had a grand time. It was a great thing. Um, I then got my apartment, which is where you see me now. Fairly basic, very Spartan kind of apartment, but it is what it is. It is mine, and that is really nice. Um, Funny story about getting my apartment. I almost didn't. Um, Myself and my landlord arranged to meet uh, at the apartment on January 4th to sign the contract at a specific time. I was here outside my door, or what would become my door, at that time. As a matter of fact, I was about 15 minutes early, and my landlord wasn't here. I waited until after the appointed time. My landlord wasn't here. I connected my iPad to internet only to find several emails from my would be landlord stating that your contract is about to get canceled because you're not where you should be. I'm sorry. I have emails to prove that we were supposed to meet here. So I called my landlord and worked out that apparently meeting at the apartment didn't mean meeting at the apartment, it meant meeting at the train station. Okay, cool. So he came over, we came in, signed the agreement, done. I then discovered later in the evening that I didn't have hot water. Not a good start. My landlord's response: let it run longer. I let that water run for an hour in total. No hot water. Nothing. Not a scratch of hot water. So I messaged my landlord again after three or four other messages, and he was like, well, take pictures of the breakers and stuff and make sure that everything's where it should be. And I was like, well, okay. So I did. And everything was where it should be. But he had no response. He had no response. He's like, I'll come over in a couple days and check it out. So off to the store I went right beside me to buy a kettle so I could heat up water to take a bath. Yeah, not the greatest start to my adventures, but the next day I woke up and I did indeed have hot water. So that's that. I messaged my landlord. Everything was good. Not happy about it, but it happened. I then took a few days to just kind of explore my new town of Omiya in Japan, and that was cool. It was pretty fun to just get a feel for what this place is like. Um, I took those few days because I had moved here on January 4th. Classes didn't start until January 10th, so I had a buffer of 5 6 days just to piss around and explore. That was pretty great. Really really fun. I apologize, my microwave is right there behind me. Um, but it was really great to just take a look around and see what life was like here. Way slower, very nice, very chill town. Mostly older folks, but that's kind of to be expected in the demographic that Japan has. Um, and yeah, it was pretty uneventful, but exploring was still amazing. Um, After that, classes started. So classes were and are absolutely intense. They are completely in Japanese, and they don't use any of the like basic grammar. They speak as if they are speaking to another Japanese person. So that can definitely throw you off. It can disorient you, and it did for the first couple of days. But now I'm quite used to not understanding most of what the teacher says, and that's fine. But I can function in daily life. Like I can ask for directions, I can ask for basic little things like that. But still, the dynamic is very different. So to demonstrate what we're moving through, we are moving through Minna no Nihongo. There, I'll get the entire cover into the frame. This is Minna no Nihongo 1. And it's a book. I'm not going to say it's the best book. I'm not going to say it's the worst book. It's a book. As you can see, there is absolutely zero English in this book whatsoever. So that can cause friction. Maybe not friction, but it can cause you to wonder about, what's going on exactly. When the book is all in Japanese, the teacher is all in Japanese, you are not at all in Japanese. So, as a supplement, I got this guy. So this is the Elementary Japanese 1, so Minna no Nihongo 1, translation of all grammar points into English. So if you're studying abroad, so in the US or any English-speaking country, I would recommend as a combo this book and this translation, but they have them for other languages as well. So French student of the class has the translation in French. An Italian student in the class has the translation in Italian. So it definitely provides some helpful insight as to what is going on. It also provides like grammar, or vocabulary in English or Italian or French or whatever language you speak. But then what it does do as well is translate the dialogues in the book and in your section dialogue into your language as well. So it really becomes a helpful resource that you can have on tap to get an explanation of the grammar broken down into your language and all that. It's pretty great. Obviously, kanji is a part of what we're studying as well. We study 6 new kanji per day, so 30 per week in total. What an absolute train wreck that is. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's a lot of things. Yeah, it's very intense. 6 per week doesn't sound bad, but when you start testing on those and trying to have to remember them and doing all of the things that are associated with them, that's when things get a little rough. So writing them as well is part of that. So we have like reading, we have writing, we have understanding, basically is what I'm trying to say here in too many words. And so we need a resource for that. This is the resource we have. These are elementary kanji. They are broken down in the book into bite-sized bits. So these are actually, I pulled up some of the more current ones that we've learned. So this is the kanji for eki, so station. these two are part of airplane. So that's kind of cool. You can start to recognize what kanji are used for, why they exist, and start to kind of read the world around you. It is weird because the order that they teach in this book is not necessarily the order in which you would want to learn for most practical effect. So that's kind of weird. For example, we have not learned the kanji for enter yet. So that's kind of weird. And to be fair, the kanji for enter looks a lot like the kanji for person, except it just goes the other way, basically. And we have not learned the kanji for mouth yet, so that kind of is weird. And it just looks like the ro katakana. So, I mean, we've learned all of the katakana and hiragana, but we've not learned some of those basic kanji yet, which means like a word such as iriguchi, which is entrance, or deguchi, which is exit, hasn't entered our vocabulary yet. But airplane, with its two super complicated kanji and the kanji for go, essentially, in the middle, we've learned. Not the best order, in my opinion, in my humble non-Japanese opinion, to learn kanji in, but that is what we have. So take that or leave that as you will. It's been a very interesting process. Of course, going out to bars and cafes and shops and things like that has been just lovely. It's been an absolute joy to experience the life of someone living in Japan. The food fantastic. I don't think there's been a single thing here that I disliked. There have been things where I've eaten it and been like, maybe I wouldn't eat that again. I wouldn't search that out again. But there's been nothing that's been like, ooh, that's bad. Like that's really bad. No, I mean, to me, who's not a picky person by nature anyway when it comes to food, all the food's been really good. I think some of the best food that I've eaten is ramen truck that comes Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, right to, like, not far from me. This old guy, probably 60, 70 years old, is absolutely just pumping out ramen for hours at night. It is probably some of the best ramen that I've eaten. Really, really good. The dude knows his stuff, and I'm thoroughly happy to enjoy that. So I'm not complaining there. And it's only 500 yen for basic ramen. You can get like tempura and stuff like that put on it for an extra 50 yen, which is not bad at all. So to have a good dinner, in a nice big old ramen bowl and get all warm and fuzzy inside, eating that with other Japanese people, really, really cool. And everybody just kind of is there. I don't feel like I stick out. I'm not a point of interest. I'm just another guy getting some ramen. And that's honestly pretty awesome. My town is not what you would call busy. So it doesn't have the nightlife of Tokyo or, Akihabara or wherever. But, like, there's enough stuff around here to do that you wouldn't get bored easily. You can go play darts. You can play karaoke. You can do karaoke, sorry. You can go to the pachinko parlor or get milkshakes or any of those various things that are available. So there's a lot of cool stuff that's just kind of in the ether that you can do here, and it's really awesome. I got uh, acquainted with all of the supermarkets in my area. There are three of them. Three of them. Two are what you would call smaller, like neighborhood supermarket chains. A-Call and Big A. They are like discount supermarket chains, and they're just wonderful. They're really cool. Um, and the other more major supermarket chain that is near me is Seiyu. So of course Seiyu is great. Has just about everything you could imagine in terms of food. Um, and they were owned at one point by Walmart. Walmart ended up selling their stake in Seiyu, um, but they still use like Walmart handhelds and stuff like that. So that's kind of neat. Um, yeah, I mean it's a great place. I mean, as is the rest of my town. My town is absolutely beautiful. I would never say anything bad about it. It's really really nice. But yeah, we are here finally, and I've been living a life and doing some cool stuff and all that. So I'm going to kind of tap it off now. If you decide to watch this and kind of leave some input, I would love to make another video going deeper into any of the things that I mentioned, and maybe doing some more thorough thought processing of any of the things that I mentioned. So yeah, thank you for bearing with me if you have, and I hope that we can do this again. Again, thank you very much, and have a great evening or morning wherever you are in the world. Bye bye now.